Okay,
Let's go enjoy ourselves.
let's go enjoy ourselves. So we're back at our favourite haunt, St John's Conservation Area. And what's the date today? The 26th?
I believe so. I don't have my Fitbit today.
It's all good.
So my wheels keep turning. Yes, it's still. I came out swinging and I always will. Still a lady, but no one understands. My mama raised a rambling man.
So, this is just one of the many trails in this area, and I really wanted to catch the fall colours before
You're not here yet.
before they're on. Doesn't look like they're here yet, but later on in our travels we will be exploring, and I have my drone which is charging at the moment on my power bank, and we will be sending it up. You can see some of the trees are starting to show some colours, which is really nice and awesome.
Got lots more colors on the way here, though.
We did. So a beautiful sunrise. The ball of the sun was the size of a
Dinner plate.
dinner plate. The ball of the sun. I'm going to stop talking. I'm tired. I've been up for like an hour. It's going to be a busy day today. We have a birthday party at noon, and then we have a garden party at 7, and then we'll be home by whatever time we get home. And it's just going to be a long day. But we're starting it here, which is a wonderful place to be. So, good stuff. And I'm really looking forward to sending up the drone and getting some beautiful footage of this. What I really like about this, and you can't really see here, is the light. The light
Yeah.
is bloody amazing. And we are in the middle of nowhere, which is kind of fun. Not exactly hiking the back trails.
But we're hiking the back trails.
Oh, kinda. I take it back, we're hiking the back trails.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, it's a pretty well marked trail. It's
Oh, yeah.
not like it's overgrown with bears and raccoons and snakes.
Oh my.
This is us being adventurous. What I really would have liked to have done, come down here on an ATV. Just
one.
because it's one thing I haven't done yet. Step one, buy an ATV.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh, little bit of hill. That's good. It's good to work out the thigh muscles.
Ow.
Ooh.
And then, of course, you gotta go down. I don't
See-
think the camera's doing it justice.
No, the camera is not doing it justice. But we'll see. Let's take some photos with a big boy and see what we can get out of it. That is a nice photo.
Very.
So I'll be taking that now.
Bye.
Hi, Carl Green, design guy. When I am not shooting photographs for fun, I do it for a living. So in addition to some of the online fine art you may have seen in somewhere in Niagara, this kind of a thing can be extended to my other offerings, which are event photography. I shoot weddings, I shoot birthday parties and other items, I shoot corporate events and multi-day conferences. That kind of a thing can be on your office wall. It can be on your coffee table as a photo book. It can be in anything that you need because I can make it. Enough about me. Back to this show. Look in the studio, the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed I've had a haircut. Thank you, Kelly. I've also chosen my image of the week, which this episode is this wonderful image of a tree shrouded in morning mist, which I am really pleased with because it's framed by these early autumn leaves, and behind it you have the backdrop of the forest itself, and it really brings out the attention to detail, which we've mentioned before, and it just looked wonderful to me. This is the image right at the camera, and this is the image as I finished editing it. And let's just step through those changes. As you can see, on the original we had the Adobe Color profile, which is set by default. I didn't want that because that didn't do it justice. I went to the Adobe Landscape, which adds a little bit more of a boost to it. I tried the auto, that didn't work, and then I adjusted the exposure to bring it down a little bit. There were some hot spots here which needed to be moved, and I also boosted the contrast a little, and pulled down the shadows because these trees were a little too dark. They were more prominent than I wanted them to be. I wanted the focus to be on the tree. And same with the blacks. By combining the shadows and the blacks, I was able to do exactly what I wanted and focus on this. I boosted the texture by a +40 because that way you get the tree bark, which is particularly beautiful. I didn't adjust the clarity because that plays with the texture, but I did bring down the dehaze. Now the dehaze slider is wonderful because if I take it all away as a ridiculous extreme, it brings out the atmospherics, as you can see that. But I thought that was a little too much, so, and I don't want to go too far the other way, so I came up with the -5. Tone curve, that affects your contrast too. I did some little tweaking in here. If I turn that off, you'll see the difference. A little bit more bland. I like contrast. Really, I like a lot more contrast than this, but that's not popular with other people. Matter of personal opinion. Taste, I should say. Luminance, I found that the yellows needed to be brought up a little bit. These autumn leaves look really nice, but I just want to accentuate them a bit. If I bring the yellows down, that brings out the tree, but the leaves are then lost. So let's change that. And the same with the greens. I wanted to bring out the greens. Again, if I bring that down, that's kind of useful. There's so many variations here, and there's no right answer. It's what you think is good. Get off. There you go. Color grading, I adjusted the highlights and I adjusted the shadows because I wanted to bring in some of the warmer colors and bring down the brightness again on these hot spots. And then in the detail, I simply boosted the sharpening and luminous levels. Beautiful thing about this is I'm going to zoom in on one of the darker areas, which is, you know, rather bad. And we'll highlight this nicely. If you hold down the Alt key in this particular program, Lightroom from Adobe, you can click here, and that will give you a visual indication of where you're going to be sharpening and where you're not going to be sharpening. And that's a slider. You click and hold, and I don't want to apply sharpening to the dark areas because that's where the noise is heaviest, and it's not a good thing. So we took that out of there. We also applied a little bit of luminance noise reduction to make sure that this was nice and sharp without actually losing the detail. If I drop that down to 0, for example, and this may or may not come out in a video, I don't know. There's a lot more noise in these darker areas, as in lots of, well, screen glitch. It's what happens when you have 15 programs running at once on your computer. And that's probably better. It's just like that, do its thing. Actually, that's not looking too bad. if I leave the luminance at 0, we get a lot of noise here, which is not really noticeable on screen, but it would be if I was printing this at 24 by 36. This image and others will be available for purchase, and you don't want to see any problems on your screen, on your print. So, I'm not the most effective multitasker, you may have noticed. However, that's what I came up with. This is your image of the week, and that's the before, which I'm kind of torn on this one because I really like the mist swirling around the trees, but by making the changes that I did, and it is a design choice, a style choice, whatever you want to call it, I lost some of that. You got the rays coming through, but you lose them here, but it brings out the detail in the trees and the leaves and everything else, so it's a trade-off. But this, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with me so far, is your image of the week. More will be following very shortly, within the next 7 days, and I want to thank you for watching. Please feel free to do all the things. Subscribe, like, share, do whatever you want. I'm cool with that. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Somewhere in Niagara, where we may be back in St. John's. I have a lot of video and a lot of images I've never used, and while my car's off the road, well, let's see how long it's off the road. Yeah, it's all good. Thanks. Goodbye for now.